Hi everyone, True Red here. Hope this message finds you all healthy and well amidst all this madness. I am at my daughter's school waiting to pick her up after basketball. And I first just want to say that I think it's so important that we allow our young people to have a sense of normalcy in their lives. It's just really important, whether they are little tiny children, school-age kids, college kids. They need a sense of normalcy. I really believe that this pandemic has been to isolate us, to instill terror and fear, get us all lined up for whatever's next to come. And I know it's frightening to think about, but it's the reality. You know, many of you are thinking because we have this new administration, the heavens are going to open up and things are just going to change. And I just don't believe that that's the truth. I think that we have been so isolated and our children have been so isolated, and we are going to grow up a generation of anxious young people, afraid to touch their friends, afraid to be around other people. And as adults, I think we really have to intervene and allow them a sense of normalcy. You know, one of the things that, of course, I talk about is the vaccine, and I know I can't say too much because we're not permitted to. We have to just be accepting of that which is placed before us, and we're not allowed to think critically. But I am going to say that one of the conversations I'm so tired of hearing is the conversation about how and why Black folks are not trusting of the medical community. And it just speaks to how this establishment has worked so diligently just to kind of erase things, erase history, erase facts, not teach history properly, proper history, or teach the facts. And the facts are there. The experiments that have been used on Black people, it's all there. We know the Tuskegee experiment. You know, we know Black women were experimented upon in New York City with no anesthesia. We know the story of Henrietta Lacks from Roanoke, Virginia, whose cancer cells were used and have been used at Johns Hopkins University without her family knowing. Her cells sat in a petri dish and her family members were not even aware. And now the cells of Henrietta Lacks, the HeLa cell, is the most important cell line in medical research. And this woman's family has not been compensated financially. They've allowed them to be on the, what's it called, the National Institute of Health. They've allowed her family members to participate in making decisions for the use of her cells. See, because they throw things at us, little bits and pieces of things, you know. But they're not passing over any money. This is how they treat Black folks. So this is the answer to why Black folks are hesitant, some of us or many of us, because we're not trusting, and we have a right to not trust. We have a right. And I'm so disheartened that we have our Black politicians out here pushing this vaccine, mainly on our elderly. In the town where I work, in the city where I live. And, you know, my belief is if you want to vaccinate your family, your children, your elderly parents, then do so. But I resent the fact that we have these appointed Black politicians who are out here helping people make up their minds, maybe people who don't have the facts, or people who are vulnerable, or people who are miseducated. And I really don't think that you have to be formally educated at all to understand that it takes time for a vaccine to prove itself. It takes time to do that. And so we've got all these Black politicians. You know, I talk about them because I'm not one of these Black women who sit around here putting every black politician on a pedestal because they've broken glass ceilings or because, you know, we believe that they're representing us. They are our worst enemies because we understand the white establishment very well. We know what that's about. But these black folks claiming to be for us, and really they're not for us, are a disgrace. And you all know who you are. You know, because you have to look at yourself every evening. And some are supposed to be so intelligent, but to try to get folks to gather up the elderly, to get them immunized with something that we're just not sure of. We're not even sure of the virus. We're not even sure what that is. And so when I think about black people, and I think about the generational devastation that has been caused upon us, it is just mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing to think about. And I often think to myself, what human beings would cause such devastation, generational devastation, to another group of people over centuries and decades? And, you know, it's continuous and ongoing now. We know that, even though they try to tell us what we see. And then we have those black folks they put in our way, and they're going to tell us what we see. It's just horrific. It's horrific. And the damage that has been done to black folks is so frightening and so terrible and so inhumane. And so I just wanted to bring this out there, you know, just hoping that we could all start to think critically. I am so blessed and so fortunate to have a circle of friends who were so worldly and so intelligent and have so much depth and help me to keep my mind open. Those of you who I spend time with on the telephone and, you know, my small pod, because we all have little COVID pods now, people that we spend time with. And I'm just so fortunate, and I'm so excited that once things improve, because they're never going to be better. I mean, this is just phase one of whatever's to come, unfortunately. I heard one black DJ on satellite, you know, he pushes a vaccine too, when he talks about soon we can all go back to normal. And, you know, maybe there'll be some normalcy for a minute. But to have your guard down and just think that we're all going back to normal, that all this has been for nothing, you all are fooling yourselves. And to put your head in the sand and to not be aware is counterproductive. It just is. And so I thank my friends and my small circle of people that I talk to and I'm in communication with, who cause me to think and have allowed my mind to be open. Those of you who are of the world, those of my friends who have family members internationally and are in contact with them and share with me the information that's going on in other parts of the land. So, you know, I'm just hoping that we continue to think critically, that we don't allow people to interfere in our ability to think, because we are all thinkers, no matter what anyone tells you. I don't care if you went to college or not. Some of the most intelligent people that I know, elders, have 8th grade educations, and they are the most brightest folks that I've ever spoken to. So just please remember, let's try to allow our children to have a sense of normalcy, so we're not raising a generation of anxious folks. Be safe, and, you know, remember, open your minds, keep yourselves thinking, and talk to you guys later. Thanks.